Tradition. You can't buy it. It's earned the hard way over decades and eras. On the field, on the road, in the mud. With guts and with grit, and firm belief that today could be our day. The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is back. Still alive, still kicking, the oldest prize in American soccer. 96 teams, part-timers to major leaguers. Survive and move on, lose and you go home. So we call all underdogs dreamers and believers. And we ask you again one simple question. Are you up for the cup?
A 13-match Wednesday here in the 110th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup rolls on from Utah here at Zions Bank Stadium in Harriman as Real Monarchs take on El Farolito. Every single year this tournament has a darling. Last year it was El Farolito. We'll see if they can replicate it. Happy to have you along for this one with MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. Mark Lowry, head coach of this Real Monarchs side that is in Open Cup for the first time in club history.
This Monarchs side, they want to play, they want to dictate tempo, especially in central part of the field. I do think for the Real Monarchs side, let the ball do all the work and you'll have success. How quickly can they get up the tempo? That's going to be the question. On
the other side, El Farolito, historically, when they were CD Mexico, won this tournament back in 1993. In their modern era as El Farolito, this is their 5th appearance here at Open Cup. They won a game in 2023. They won 2 games last year. They've become a fan favorite, darling. The colloquially called Burrito Boys here, El Farolito. Fans love them. What are they going to see tonight?
They're going to see a team that wants to play, right? A lot of skills, a lot of technical ability. You look at Denver Benson, he's going to be the guy spearheading the attack. This El Farolito side, they're going to be full of confidence because they've done it once. They can do it again.
Take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams. A familiar face for El Farolito. Denver Benson was their big player last year, scored 4 goals in the tournament. He's back again.
And he has a player underneath him, Soto, number 7. He is very crafty, likes to operate in the pocket. You have Arias and Arias, the 2 brothers. They want to play in central parts of the field. But for Real Monarchs, you look at Kobe Henry. I think he needs to be massive in the back because Denver Benson's going to throw his body around. Look for Kobe Henry, number 3, to be a leader in the back line of Real Monarchs.
Nathan Boone, the referee tonight. It's El Farolito in the yellow and blue from left to right. It's Real Monarchs in the red and blue from right to left. We are just about set to get things going here in Utah. 37 degrees Fahrenheit and dropping here at kickoff. A little bit different than the weather El Farolito used to from the Bay Area. And we are underway. El Farolito Real Monarchs here in the 110th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. This is going to be a massive contrast in team makeup and in styles. You have a Real Monarchs side that the average age on a given night hovers anywhere between 19 and 21. Typically, Wes Sharpie, who they brought in this year, really elevates that average age. But for the most part, a very young side against an El Farolito side where the average age hovers around 30 on a game-by-game basis. And Mark Lowry, the head coach of Real Monarchs, talked to us about that. This is going to be a test for a very young team going up against grown, grizzled veterans who have been pros in the past in South America and Central America. They're going to get beat up a little bit, and they're going to have to withstand it.
And how they're going to deal with the cleverness of El Farolito, the little game behind in the game, the dark arts. But expect this Real Monarchs side to use their legs. They want to go out, they want to run because they understand maybe fitness is on their side. So how do they use that to their advantage? 2 minutes in, already comfortable on this ball.
El Farolito is a little bit different than some other amateur sides you see pop up in this tournament in that they've actually been playing lately. They play pretty much year-round. It's not like some other teams you've seen pop up where they begin their UPSL or NPSL seasons in April or May, and the Open Cup's first round comes at a weird time for them where they haven't played in a few months and they're not playing for a couple more. They have a couple of weeks of practice and just get going. It's not the case for this El Farolito side. As Real Monarchs enter the attack at the end line, it's gathered by at least Aralde. This team has been playing. Okay, they've had a lot of preseason games against local teams in the Bay Area. They've taken on the Oakland Roots. They've taken on other pro teams in the area, and they won every single game in their preseason. So they are not a team that's come in and is not ready to go. They are. They've had a preseason. They're a favorite in the area team to schedule for preseason because these pro teams know that they're going to be tested.
And the quality that the Farolito side has, especially in that central part of the field. You're looking at Kipre Soccer, Arias, and Soto. I think that trio is going to be key because now you can afford Denbor Benton to be expansive. We saw what he has been able to do in USL League One. He's going to spearhead the attack. That battle between him and the two center backs for Real Monarchs, something that you have to watch out for.
Another funny bit of our conversation with Mark Lowry. He admitted that he's well aware that nobody except for Real Monarchs fans and family of the players will be rooting for Real Monarchs tonight. He knows that this El Farolito side has taken on a life of its own and will be fan favorites once again. Denbor Benson wearing the number 9 for El Farolito after he scored those 4 goals in the tournament last year. And El Farolito eliminated USL League One's Central Valley Fuego. They signed him. He ended up playing 13 games, scored 4 goals for Central Valley Fuego. They folded this year, and he just, for personal reasons, couldn't take a couple of contracts that were offered to him to go to the East Coast in League One. So he decided to come back to El Farolito, maybe showcase himself again here in Open Cup, and then find that next opportunity closer to home in California, in the area. So we'll see if he's able to pop up on the radar once again. Farolito, no strangers to beating MLS Next Pro competition. In their opening round last year, they went on the road and beat Portland Timbers 2 before they beat Central Valley Fuego and then lost to the Oakland Roots. Griffin Dillon plays for Maximus Jennings. Fouled Griffin Dillon. Real Monarchs, founded back in 2014, began playing USL in 2015, won the title in USL Championship back in 2019, coming off a playoff miss in 2024 in Next Pro. Finished just on the outside, looking in 9th place, right off the paces. Free kick on the way for Real Monarchs. Space here centrally. Owen Anderson finding Grayson Carter.
That's a ball.
Usually play soccer with one. Real Monarchs pressuring here in the early going. Owen Anderson has a goal to his name already this season. They've only played 1 game, Real Monarchs. They fell off the schedule, odd number of teams in MLS Next Pro. They fell off the schedule in week 1. Week 2, they went on the road and beat Portland 3-2. Anderson scored one of the 3 goals. All the way back to the goalkeeper. Max Kirkfleet almost lost it. Pressure closing in from El Farolito. And their head coach, in our conversation, Santiago Lopez, told us they were going to come out and press. They were not going to sit back like most amateur teams do in this tournament. You're seeing that pressure there. Real Monarchs breaks it though, and something on here the other way. Marquez threading it through. Lizarralde has it.
Fantastic action from Real Monarchs. As this ball comes centrally and Marquez receives it, this ball needs to be played to his feet. Jennings makes a fantastic run from outside in. The angle's just not there. Lizarralde reads it the whole way. But you just see if Real Monarchs had the success to beat that initial line of pressure, they can find some green grass in between lines and ask some questions of El Farolito's back line.
How does this field play? You've been here before in the Real Salt Lake and Real Monarchs organizations where you began your career in Open Cup almost a decade ago. How's this field play? Oh, played in behind. Flag does come up here on El Farolito, almost tiptoeing it. But how does this field tend to play?
First of all, you have to date me, right? Almost a decade ago is crazy. It's heavy. Obviously artificial turf, so the ball is going to hold up a little bit, not going to play as smooth as natural grass. But if you are the Real Monarchs, obviously you train on this every single day, so you're very familiar with it. El Farolito, don't be surprised if you see players maybe getting tripped up a little bit, but in the end, everyone has to deal with the circumstances.
It's the temperature that might affect El Farolito more. 34 degrees now and dropping. Slip through centrally from Marquez. Flag stays down. Here's Tommy Silva. Plays all the way across, and it's deflected out for a corner.
Just talked about the success. If you break the initial line, one pass takes about 5 El Farolito players out of the game. Great recognition from Silva to hit this one time and really put pressure on this back line. Jennings, we've seen him had the freedom to join the attack, unable to bring it back across the 6-yard box. And again, Real Monarchs showing some tempo in the way that they're playing.
Opening corner for Real Monarchs. Good delivery into the 6, dropped in perfectly. Farolito holds strong. Secondary ball lumped into the traffic. Denver Benson helps clear. Kobe Henry keeps his feet. Play on for Real Monarchs. Advantage acknowledged by the referee. Seen a cup set tonight. Virginia Dream went on the road and beat the Richmond Kickers. Also Des Moines Menace going on the road and beating Sporting Kansas City 2. Cup set with a asterisk on that one. It's basically a 2015 who's who of MLS going up against SKC2 in that game. Saw Sasha Kleshtin score a brace, both penalties. He still got it, at least from 12 yards out. So for a penalty here, goes quickly unanswered, and a free kick coming out for El Farolito. Sent long from Lizarralde. Haven't gotten Denver Benson involved quite yet. Anderson has options. Kobe Henry. That pressure has some definitive triggers here for El Farolito. They bide their time until the moment's right to pounce. But give this Real Monarch side some fits. If they're not on top of their game, playing out of the back, which they want to. They're very committed to playing that way under Mark Lowry.
Big emphasis on the 2 center backs. Farnsworth and Henry very comfortable on the ball. What's their decision making look like? Because you cannot afford to give the ball over cheaply when trying to play out.
Slip through for Kipre Sacre. Haven't gotten anything going in the attacking third yet. El Farolito.
You're going to see Sacre and Soto interchange as one plays underneath Benson, the other one provides the width. They have the freedom just to go and search a game. If you're Santiago Lopez, those are 2 players that you need to have influential.
Kaliskan. Anderson cuts in. Anderson thinking about it. He's tripped up from behind. Free kick in a really good spot here for Real Monarchs. And is there a card to boot?
Need to figure out things centrally for El Farolito. Too many times you're giving the Monarchs their freedom, whether it's to beat you through passing, but also with the ball at your feet. Kipre Sacre, unfortunate, trips over himself when Result takes out Anderson, and a really nice distance for the Monarchs to ask some questions of Lizarralde. Get up and over the wall and put some real movement on this thing.
And no card was shown in the end. Well, Monarchs bench not happy about that. And replaced by Owen Anderson. 5 in the wall for El Farolito. Anderson right into the wall. Does its job. Albert Soto, player who got ahead to it and out for a throw for El Farolito. Attack neutralized. Direct here for El Farolito, taken back. Real Monarchs now, Kaliskan. Jennings, Griffin Dillon. Advantage played here for El Farolito. Back by Sacre. Henson. Ooh, high boot. And he gets called for it. Fortunately, didn't make contact with Griffin Dillon. Sent long toward Benson, flag comes up. First time they've looked his way long. Impressive player, Denver Benson. One of those players who you expect to latch on with a pro team at some point again in the near future. Showed he's worthy of it last year. Cited success in this tournament. Going on then again, 4 goals and 13 appearances at the USL League One level. Proved he belonged there.
It's a player that does a lot of his work in around that 18-yard box, whether it's a hold-up play, ability to bring players into this game, and quite the finisher as well. How many times did we see him score a goal with his head in the Open Cup last season? So he's the player that if you are Farnsworth and Henry, you have to be wary about his movement and where he is at all times.
Higuera.
Monarchs doing a really nice job at hunting the ball once they lose it. Then a repress, something that Mark Lowry loves to see.
Dillon plays it through, rolled back by Carter. Cut out by Soto. Call was made there on the contact. Jesus Martinez went down. Farolito was expecting a call, but referee didn't see much in it. I don't think I saw much in it either. And he goes back to what you were saying earlier about this older veteran on Farolito's side, leaning more in the dark arts than you'll see from Real Monarchs. That one straight up into the air. Bounces a second time and now cleared to safety. Already 120 passes connected by Real Monarchs through a quarter of an hour, just 45 for El Farolito. One-sided in the possession.
It's been impressive for the Monarchs. The ball movement, the ball circulation, we haven't seen a player take more than about 3 or 4 touches. It's exactly what you want to beat a team like El Farolito, make them chase. Much of their season, El Farolito likes to be on the ball. They like to dictate the tempo at their pace. If you can take the game away from them, now you're setting yourself up for some success.
Run into space here for Higuera. Judas Higuera closing in, plays back post! The opener for El Farolito, and it had to be Lamar Benson. Welcome back to Open Cup.
Just talked about the movement from El Farolito. They like to play, but they also can play direct. Not strong enough in the challenge. And talked about Denbor Benson's movement in around that 18-yard box. You have to be touch tight with him every single time. Higuera does quite well. Think he's going to pull the trigger, instead plays it across towards that back post. Not having a lot of the play, but up 1-0 within the first 20 minutes here on the road for El Farolito.
So much success in Open Cup last year. And it turns into a contract with Central Valley Fuego, a team that he helped El Farolito eliminate. And now it takes 18 minutes for him to score in Open Cup again. Completely against the run of play. First shot on target, first goal for El Farolito.
Efficient,
I'd say. It's hard to be better than 100%, even though people sometimes say you got to give 110%.
10%.
It's not possible. Not mathematically possible to give more than 100%. You only give 80% in these broadcasts.
100%, 110% actually.
Speaking of 80, here's number 80. Carter plays it back.
You're dating me, now you're putting me down. I thought we were a team here.
I gotta fill up your cup, I'm sorry.
Fill it, not take out of it, Joe. What's the reaction look like from Mark Lowry's side? Talked about against the run of play. They've been the better team, but nothing to show for it. You'd be a little bit more lethal in the final third. Moments like this, you have to take advantage of the really silly foul from Borja.
You also have to be more careful in that moment if you're Borja.
Yeah.
Not only the foul, but he then kicked the ball away. He's probably very fortunate not to pick up a yellow card here.
Just notice how aggressive he comes through the backside. There's just no need to try to win that ball. Anderson has a better body position. Borja just needs to move his feet and make him play negative, and your job is done. Instead, you become a little bit overzealous, and now you afford Silva just to stand over this and put this ball into the mixer. And be aware, we've got Liscan on this near side here.
Tommy Silva headed away only as far as the edge of the area where it's Carter deflected. Fortunately for Lizarralde, it's off target. Last thing you want as a goalkeeper in that situation is a change of direction after you've already committed. Some urgency in getting the trainers out there as well. For a downed player for El Farolito, I believe it was Jonathan Mosquera. Pardon me, it is Benson who was back helping defensively. Benson down, receiving the care from the trainers. It's his goal. That's the difference right now, back in the 18th minute.
Just not strong enough here from Silva on the initial challenge. West Sharp would lose track of his man. And then Denbor Benson. What do we call that celebration? Rocking the baby?
Cradle?
Cradle?
Yeah, I think it's cradle.
I don't know. Still worthy of Farolito.
Very careful with him here. Get him back to a seated position. Hope he's all right. And Farolito certainly need him up top. He's meant to them. The reigning NPSL champions went 9-0-0 last season in the regular season, went on to win the title. 7-time NPSL champions. 2024 title was their first since 2017. They had won 4 out of 6 from 2012 to 2017. Through it all, success in Open Cup as well. Never more so though than last year. They knocked off 2 pro sides and went on to the 3rd round. Mountains casting the shadows in the distance. This right now casting a shadow on this game. Farolito certainly need him to be all right as he limps his way off. He's given the head nod. You hope that's positive body language that he would be able to stay out there, but all up to the trainers and the doctors right now, making sure he's all right. Keep an eye on him, see how soon he's able to come back out there if he is. Meanwhile, play continues. Farolito down to 10. Oh, he's already way back on, Benson. Good to see him get right back out there. Farnsworth. Anderson. Question for Farolito, will that be enough? Will they be able to defend now? Or will they need more? There's going to be a lot of pressure from Real Monarchs, no doubt. All the possession you expect them to have. The question for Real Monarchs is, in all the possession you have, can you avoid getting caught out on another counter? So that first goal went in.
Just so clever from Soto. Takes that long touch, invites a contact from Wes Sharpie. And lets his side gain some real estate and push up higher on the field. And cleverness, top class.
Long by Lizarralde, into the path of Benson. And the offside flag comes up. That shows how direct they can be at times. Straight Route 1, goalkeeper to striker.
Definitely have the quality to break you down through quick passing in central locations, but no problem whatsoever on playing over the top. Much like how they scored their opening goal.
Farnsworth flicked on. Carter. Swarmed by yellow jerseys. And they want to break out. Benson. Soto. Soto centering. Gobbled up by Kirkley.
And you mentioned that once Carter receives this ball, when he drops into that almost number 10 role, that's when you need a secondary runner, someone really to test in behind. That push and pull mentality on that front line, play off of one another, hasn't been there for Real Monarchs.
Jennings. Too much on it. All the way out for a goal kick. 1993 Open Cup champions as CD Mexico. Now as El Farolito. They've been fan favorites these last couple of years. Out in front here on the road against Real Monarchs, where they started, sort of, their journey last year. Not here, per se, but on the road against an MLS Next Pro side, which turned out to be a victory. And they go on to win against Central Valley Fuego in USL League One. Don't know who they'd face yet in the next round. There'll be a draw for the second round. April 1st, April 2nd are the match dates for round number 2. A misplay out from the back here from El Farolito. Tripped up by Borja.
Has to see yellow.
Second time he's done that now.
The second time in a matter of 5 minutes that Borja has come through the backside. Clever from Carter. Notice how he slows down and cuts across the path. He feels the contact, he goes down, and Borja picks up a yellow card.
Yellow card caution. El Farolito, number 24, Hadler Borja.
Tommy Silva seems most poised to take this with the left foot. Well, Caliscan there as well as a right-footed option. It is Silva, not a bad ball in front. At least Aralde wanted it. Demore Benson cleared it. It'll be a corner.
Fantastic location where this ball is placed, right on top of that 6-yard box. How many times have we seen this ball end up in the back of the net with an uh-oh moment? Good on Benton to stay with it and take no chances, but what a ball that is from Caliscan.
Benson heads it away. More contact. Another free kick on the way. And another yellow.
Talking about the dark arts here from Caliscan. Goes down. Sets up the two El Farolito players, Kipre and Sacre, and you get up. Yigata goes in the books, second in a matter of minutes for El Farolito.
Know what a Gordie Howe hat trick is crossing over to hockey? Since you were up there in Minnesota.
Gordie Howe?
Gordie Howe hat trick.
Zero idea.
Okay, that's what I kind of figured. It's a goal and assist and getting into a fight. Soccer's equivalent is an assist, a goal, and a yellow card. He's almost there. He get up. He had the assist on the opening goal. Now he has a yellow card. Needs a goal of his own. From the free kick, Silva. A dangerous ball. El Farolito comes away with it. I had very little faith, but I know
That's
you.
not nice.
I know you went
Joe,
to a.
fill up my cup.
I know you went to a fancy school up in Minnesota, and you had hockey player friends, so thought you might know, but disappointed.
Gordie Howe.
Gordie Howe, look him up.
Why is that named after him?
It's because he would very frequently have nights where he'd have a goal and assist and get into a fight.
Interesting.
Kind of gets you educated.
I bet you all 22 players on this field, if you asked them about that, 98% would have no idea.
98%? That might be fair. 100% no. There'd be somebody.
Yeah,
who
there'll
knows.
be like one person.
There'd be somebody.
I think that's called a Diego Costa hat trick instead.
Pressure from El Farolito. We're getting too off topic now. Is the ball flat? Yeah, ball's flat. That's a space on your U.S. Open Cup bingo card. It is cold. Ball deflates when it's cold. Hopefully they can find another one soon. Ball boy's on vacation. Has to take this long to get another one out there. There you go. That one meets the referee's specifications, the age-old see if you can squeeze it test. Cup set possibly in the making. Saw one earlier. Virginia Dream beating the Richmond Kickers. Also saw Des Moines Menace beat Sporting Kansas City 2. Oh, another one in the books, actually. I'm sorry. Little Rock Rangers beat Birmingham Legion. So 3 cup sets so far tonight after only one yesterday, which was Floro beating Texoma. That one just went final. Shout out Little Rock Rangers.
Birmingham Legion, tough start to the season. Loss at home against Loudoun, draw at Lou City, losing in the Open Cup. So championship side definitely struggling.
Here's Benson looking for support. Good build from El Farolito. Yes, they're a pressing team and like to go direct, but they can put it on the deck. As I say that, they do that. My apologies, but they can put it on the deck and play through as well.
Definitely seeing the quality coming out from El Farolito. I do think as they get that opening goal now, they have a tendency maybe to be a little bit more defensive. So if you are Denver Benson, the dirty side of the game now, holding up the ball, slowing play down, letting teammates come and support you is going to be really important for the number 9.
Glanced on by Benson. The 29-year-old striker has the lone goal of the match.
Just no real vertical threat for the Monarchs.
Chested down, advantage played. And that one's halfway to the parking lot. Missed hit by Owen Anderson.
But notice the success that comes from it. It's a center back, Farnsworth, that continues his run off of the shoulder of Carter. Carter does a nice little job at holding up Mosqueda. And that's when you need Marquez or Silva, one of the 2 wingers, to occupy that space that was vacated. Martinez and Mosqueda, the 2 center backs for El Farolito, through 36 minutes, have not been turned around nearly enough.
Silva. Some miscues like that have not helped the cause for Royal Monarchs. By Sharpie. Cross for Zach Farnsworth. Jennings, nice tackle put in by Martinez. And a goal kick. Martinez celebrating right in the face of Maximus Jennings.
Wait a second, what are we doing here? Where's the ball? What's going on? Oh.
It's interesting that obviously there's more than one way to play this game, and see it all around the world. These two teams could not be playing more different styles here tonight, yet they have the same number of final third entries at 17. So it's really possession without purpose for Real Monarchs so far. 70% of it compared to 30. They have not done a lot of this. Getting into the attacking third. Another great tackle put in by Martinez.
Just think don't think there's enough movement from the Monarchs. How many times have we seen Carter try to play hold-up play? What a run this is.
Soto bursting through. Soto goes down. A little bit too easy for the referee's liking. Farnsworth a little bit of contact, but perhaps not enough. Silva. All the way back. Kobe Henry stepping up over midfield. Everybody in the attacking half right now for Real Monarchs. Everybody, look how deep they are in the yellow jerseys for Farolito. No real outlet right now. Try from distance by Marquez. Lizarralde has it.
You just have to be smarter if you are Real Monarchs. You have to look at the two center backs, whether it is Zuluaga or Mosquera, very dominant in the air. And how many times have we seen the Monarchs try to pump the ball on top of that 6-yard box? They've won every single individual duel in the air, those two. So how do you break them down? You have to draw them out of position. You have to beat them with pace, quick movements in around that 18-yard box. There's a way that you can pull out one of those two center backs. That's something that Mark Lowry needs to address at halftime.
Continuing to back up here, Farolito now for Zuluaga. Soto, good build this. And the run coming in from Higuera, spotted early by Soto and blocked by Sharpie. Monterey Bay up 1-0 on Inter San Francisco. Inter San Francisco, the team that Farolito beat in the opening round in 2023 before losing to the Oakland Roots. 1-1 late last year between Oakland and Farolito. Late winner for Oakland to take it 2-1. Otherwise, it was a game that seemed destined for a while to go to extra time.
I want you to notice the left side of your screen once the Real Monarchs get into this position. Again, it's a lofted ball. Everyone wants the ball to feet. There's no one making a run to pull out one of the center backs. Been far too predictable for Real Monarchs.
Marquez, nobody on the end of it. Just some housekeeping. It was in extra time last year. My apologies. Farolito almost got it to penalties last year against Oakland. So their magic carpet ride almost continued into the 4th round last year. They took a lot of confidence from that into this year. And chatting with head coach Santiago Lopez ahead of this game, he acknowledges that it's a new year, but it's not really a new team. All but 2 players from that team from last year that went to the 3rd round are back this year. And they know what it takes to win in this tournament. They know how close they were to beating Oakland last year and getting to a 4th round and continuing on. And a year now in 2025 where the prize pool is doubled to be the furthest advancing open division side. The purse that comes with that would be obviously massive for this club. So there's a lot more on the line. Farolito holding up there to the bargain so far. Up 1-0 nearing halftime. Henry. Anderson drops it back. Griffin Dillon always rising.
You love the intent, the aggressive nature from Dillon, because now they understand if he's within 30 to 35 yards out, he's going to pull the trigger. And what that can do, that can pull out one of the congested players for El Farolito to step off of their line, and that's when you can break them down through quick ball movement. Just needs to be a little bit cleaner.
Shake the wrist in. Five extra minutes.
Told there'll be 5 additional minutes here at the end of this first half, mostly because of the Denbor Benson injury. Good to see he's been able to carry on. Happened a little while after his goal. Just some miscues in possession, despite having almost 70% of it for Real Monarchs. Just not finding feet, not finding the runs.
Ball's not finding their intended target, playing behind them as well. Just needs to be cleaner all around for the Monarchs. They're doing quite well getting themselves into that final third, but continues to break down.
Still just one shot in this one for El Farolito. You and I have talked about it on other broadcasts that we've had together here in Open Cup, even this year. The anatomy of a cup set. Withstand some early pressure from the home side or the higher division side, in this case Real Monarchs, and then find your moment. Early on, Real Monarchs made some inroads, and they never really got a clean shot off, but there were a couple of dangerous moments. And El Farolito started their press a little bit more, and they have it going on still here at times. They started to go more direct into Benson, and it seemed, okay, they found their footing. Will they find a breakthrough here on the road in the elements at altitude, mind you? That's a big thing as well that we haven't touched on. This is a Bay Area team that is playing here at altitude in 33-degree weather. They found their footing, they found their goal, and now they haven't given up much defensively, and they haven't had anything else yet offensively, but they don't really need anything else right now because they already have that one. It's the anatomy of a cup set. Can they steal another one, though, before halftime? Soto dispossessed by Sharpie.
The last thing you want to do if you are the Monarchs is to concede early like you did against this experienced side. El Farolito, they do not need to go out and chase the game. They have their goal. So we've seen how stout and how compact they can be within their defensive structure. It's going to be really interesting just to see what Mark Lowry can say or what he can do once halftime arrives.
Anderson weaving through. Do a lot of those little things right, sacrificing defensively El Farolito. Sharpie. Kobe Henry stepping up. through for Anderson. Overhead kick, play on, and now side flag comes up. Already 3 cup sets today. This one, strong bid so far to be a 4th. Another one that could be interesting later, Ballard against Spokane. Ballard, a really strong USL 2 side. Almost pulled one off last year.
Good step.
Mosquera feeds Higuera. A free kick here for El Farolito. No, they'd like to get their big bodies forward here and see if they can steal one more before halftime.
See the experience coming out from within. The center back, Zuluaga, steps in. And notice, I'll tell you what, rash from Dylan, how he does not pick up a yellow card.
4th official right there, too.
Just notice the way that he comes in with his right foot right here.
Ooh.
Over the ball, catches Zuluaga. I think he's very fortunate not to see a yellow card here. Rightly so. El Farolito players in disagreement.
Very high line here for Real Monarchs. Clipped in toward Benson. Back for Soto. Centered. Cleared sky high by Kobe Henry, and it drifts out for a corner. So 5 minutes of stoppage time have come and gone. El Farolito is going to have an opportunity here right before halftime on a corner. Should be the last play of the half. Corner swung in. And there's the whistle to end half number 1. The 2024 Darlings. El Farolito. Well, are they doing it again? We'll find out in the second half. Right now, up 1-0 on the road against Real Monarchs.
Santiago Lopez, the head coach for El Farolito, has to be very pleased with what he's seen. You got your opening goal, and you're stout defensively. Mark Lowry and the Monarchs need to clean things up, play at a higher tempo, and have more movement once they get in around that 18-yard box.
Denbor Benson in the 18th minute. He was their star man last year. Game in, game out in Open Cup. Got a pro contract out of it in USL League One. Scored 4 goals in 13 games. He's back. He's scoring again. And El Farolito has a 1-0 lead over Real Monarchs. Stay tuned. Halftime coming up. We'll have some other games. You could go around and look at those on US Soccer's YouTube channel in the meantime. And we'll be back in a little while here with half number 2 between Real Monarchs and El Farolito. Players have taken the field once again here in Harriman, Utah. Real Monarchs, the MLS Next Pro side, down 1-0 against the amateur side, El Farolito, who played their way into the hearts of Open Cup fans last year and may be on their way to doing so again. A look back at highlights from the first half. A lot of the action you see is down at Real Monarchs, and there was only one shot on the El Farolito, and it was the goal.
The Monarchs had a lot of the ball, a lot of possession, but unable to really penetrate this back line. That ball needs to be played to the feet of Jennings, because then if he does that, he has a better body position. And yet again, you're going to see a lot of the similar movements from the Monarchs, getting themselves into that final third, but continuing not to break down. And this is exactly what you see get from El Farolito. Efficient, tough, ruthless, ball over the top, and it's that man yet again, Denbor Benson at the end of it. But this is all about the will from Higuera. He beats his individual marker, and Denbor Benson gets on the end of it to find the opening goal for El Farolito, and they didn't stop there. It was continuing pressure, but it was all about the back line and the defensive effort for El Farolito. They were really difficult to break down. Now, if you're a Real Monarchs, how keen can you be in this second half? The ball needs to move quicker. There needs to be a lot more movement, because all of these chances are about half chances from the Real Monarchs.
Take a look at stats from that first half, and you look down El Farolito's side. One. They only had that one chance, but it's the difference right now.
Efficient. That's what you want. That's what you get from an El Farolito side that's been in this situation and have had success with the Open Cup. So expect them to be really difficult to break down in the second half. If I'm Santiago Lopez, I'm getting all 10 players behind the ball. I'm letting Denbor Benson stay as high as he possibly can and try to hit this Monarch side in transitional moments to get that second goal.
And looking deeper into the stats, just that expected goals, which again, just a metric of weighing the chances and how often they would actually turn into goals for teams, gives you a sense that genuine chance generation. 0.7 for El Farolito, it's 0.14 for Real Monarchs. So having 7 times the number of shots of El Farolito, they have less than half the expected goals. So it really hasn't been creative or dangerous for this Real Monarchs side so far. It's something that has to change if they're going to find a way back into this one. Have a change here at the break. Judas Higuera does come off at half for El Farolito, and he is replaced by Eric Arias. Change on the Real Monarchs side as well. Took off Maximus Jennings. It was Antonio Riquelme who entered for Maximus Jennings. So a sub each, and we're underway in half number 2. Alongside Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us here for El Farolito and Real Monarchs first round action, 110th edition of the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. Already 3 cup sets on the day. Will we see another? You wonder what the conversation was like from Mark Lowry at the break. They did some good things, but not enough danger in the attacking half for Real Monarchs. At the same token, well, you'd like to create more. There's that double-edged sword where if you commit more numbers forward and you create more and you get in behind, that's what opens the door for El Farolito on the counter. So they scored their opening goal and the lone goal so far. Sharpie switch to the right side now as Antonio Riquelme subbed on for Maximus Jennings. Switched out into space. Here for Real Monarchs, centered just over the head of Grayson Carter. Sharpie intercepted. so quick with the ball whenever it's at his feet. Albert Soto, learned that about him last year. And interesting, we had asked Mark Lowry if they'd scouted Farolito, because a lot of the times you'll find the coaches of the pro sides against the amateur sides really don't, because you really can't find much tape, and if you do find it, it's from maybe back in the fall, and that team is no longer resembling the new team because it's mostly college kids coming through ready to get ready for their next season. Farolito is the one instance where you actually can go back and scout, and they did go back and scout. They went back to last year's Open Cup, knowing that it's a lot of the same faces. They went back to last year's NPSL Championship, where they had footage available. So they were actually able to scout, so they knew exactly what they were getting into, Real Monarchs, in this one. There were no surprises, but knowing what's coming and being able to deal with it, two different stories. Stepping through Farnsworth. Back for Sharpie. There's a lot of this from the first half as well. Possession in this general area, but nowhere to go from there. There's 9 yellow jerseys in your picture right now. The only one that's not back there is Denbor Benson waiting for a long ball. Try from distance here. Lizarralde makes the save. A stinging effort from distance. Almost caught the keeper by surprise. Left a big rebound, but cleared away.
Love the effort. It's actually the center back, Farnsworth, who steps into that middle third. And it's the first time that we've seen El Farolito been put under some pressure.
Can't help but laugh at that one. You talked about the dark arts in the first half. There's no other way to sum that one up. Well, let's see if there's any contact. Can we give him the benefit of the doubt, Lizarralde? He was touched. Very delayed reaction. You ever chop down a tree? It's got that delayed, slow tilt, 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 and fall. Yeah.
And magically, he's okay.
You never.
Never.
Never, yeah. Flipped in behind. Riquelme, substitute, pressuring. See what different dynamic he could bring to the attack here in this second half.
The tactical change for Mark Lowry, shifted into a 3-back system. So now you have Farnsworth, Kobe Henry at the center back position, Wes Sharpie at the right back, and hope that you can be a little bit more expansive and provide some width.
Play continues with Benson down, deflected, out for a corner. Corner for Real Monarchs. Headed away by Benson. Sent back in. Again, rising to meet at Benson, but the offside flag comes up regardless. Set long down the right side for Arias. Support arriving. Now it's Gabriel Arias going for goal. Those little moments there for El Farolito. All they need is one. That was just their second shot of the match. All it took was one in the first half, and if they get another one at 2, it's going to be even tougher to break down a side that would just sink deeper and deeper into a block. Fed out wide. Silva Cutting in, wants to get it to his left foot if he can, Tommy Silva. Griffin Dillon. Sharpie. More patience on the ball from Real Monarchs, building through Griffin Dillon. How many times has it been like that where they're patient, then they try to go and just nothing clicks in the end for them?
Exactly what I was talking about in the first half. As Carter comes underneath, he pulls out Mosqueda, and notice the secondary movement, right? So you have more space to operate in. That little interchange you need to see more of for the Real Monarchs side.
Something on here for Real Monarchs as they battled on the right flank and chipped at the end there. Bench is getting hot about that challenge. It's a yellow. Jesus Martinez in the book.
Just no need, tries to recover from his mistake. Gets beat once. A little bit of frustration. Could have easily been a different color card.
You get the same reaction as the entire Real Monarchs bench.
Just no need right in front of our side referee.
Yellow card caution, El Farolito. Number 18, Jesus Martinez.
I think I'm with you. You can make a case that that should have been a red.
Could have easily
Ball had
been
gone sitting from a seated position.
Clear intent.
No effort. Yeah, clear intent.
Clear intent.
Put it this way. You've seen similar instances where a red has been given. No VAR here at this level of this tournament. So the call is the call, but under the microscope now. Jesus Martinez on the yellow. Ensuing free kick leaves a lot to be desired. 10 minutes into this second half. Farolito trying to break through with speed. Now it's Soto clipping it ahead. Soto running in behind. Helbert Soto trying to find the touch on it. Never does. He has such a burst of speed. And I don't want this to come off the wrong way, but if you look at his build, it's a surprising burst of speed from Soto. He doesn't look like your stereotypical speedster up top. You're looking at me. He's about my height. He's on the stockier side, and he's burning by every single person on the field.
It's impressive.
And we learned that about him last year. It jumps out at you, the burst that he has through the middle. And I've been a more favorable bounce for Soto. I'd be talking about a different scoreline right now. Sharpie. Given away. Sharpie again gets it back. Griffin Dillon. Trouble for Lizarralde. Has he had to make a dangerous save yet?
The shot from distance from Farnsworth, I think that's the hardest save that Lizarralde has had to make.
This has been a masterclass so far from El Farolito in terms of designing an upset in this tournament. Got the goal on the counter, and they've been on top of everything defensively. No miscues so far, clean with the ball, breaking out when they can. Soto was ready to take off again. Just have to make sure they stay at 11 on 11. That's the next most important thing. Aliscan slips it through. The flag stayed down. The score is level. It's the substitute Antonio Riquelme. Real Monarchs finally find their breakthrough. It's the halftime substitute, Riquelme. El Farolito apoplectic that the flag never came up, but it's the right call from the officials. You'll see here.
Great little interchange from the Monarchs, but look at the right side Borja. He's inside of the D right now. He is the one who keeps Riquelme on side.
The left side of your screen, the right center back for El Farolito.
He keeps him on side. It's a good call from our side referee. Even better finish from Riquelme. But it's Borja, the right-sided center back, that keeps on Riquelme. Great goal. And Monarchs draw even right before the hour mark.
Yellow card caution, El Farolito. Number 8, Jahemi Arias.
Jahemi Arias picked up the yellow card for going over to the referee afterwards.
Correction,
number 3, Jonathan Mosquera. See if that provides a spark now for El Monarchs to go on and get more. You understand the feelings of the El Farolito players there in that moment. What they had thought was a well-orchestrated offside trap, but there was one weak link. Being up 1-0 near the hour mark, the emotion pouring out of them for conceding there, but it was very obvious that he was onside. Good on Real Monarchs and Antonio Riquelme to stick with it and not get caught up in the moment. Glancing over his shoulder. How many times did you see a young player glance to see if they were still onside, and it throws them off their rhythm, and it's a different end result. He just puts his head down, puts his laces through it, and it's 1-1. I'll show you the goal again. Watch on the left side of your screen. Count from the top. One yellow jersey. The second yellow jersey is the player who you're going to see keep the player onside. Watch, top of your screen as the play develops. One yellow jersey, two yellow jersey. Top of the box, right there. He's right near the line. He's further back than Riquelme. And at that moment when the ball's touched, you could actually even argue that both center backs were behind the ball. It's a good bit of refereeing. It's a clear onside. Frustration from El Farolito.
And entering the match, number 23.
How do they respond now? El Farolito, at 1-1, they could just continue doing the same. It's not like they're down now where they have to come out of their shell and change the way they play. It could just be more of the same, but the question is, can they withstand what is now definitive momentum for Real Monarchs? They got one of the yellow cards off the field there, taking off Borja. And bringing on Jonathan Perez. So the yellow card still out there right now for El Farolito. Mosquera and Martinez, the two center backs. Sharpie. Cutting in field, Omar Marquez goes for a goal save by Lizarralde. Dangerous one is near post, parries it out for a corner.
Good recognition here from Marquez just to use a run as a decoy. He pulls out a player, so now that opens up a space centrally. Tries to squeak it into that near post. Convincing save from Lizarralde to push it wide of his near post.
Change coming now for Real Monarchs. That'll be all for Grayson Carter.
Substitution. In the 64th minute,
He is replaced
leaving the match, number 80, Grayson
by
Carter.
Chase Duke.
Entering the match, number 94, Chase Duke.
One back by Owen Anderson.
The mental side of the game is nearly as important as the physical side now. If you are El Farolito, you feel hard done by the referees. Cannot let that creep in and lose your head. You want to end this game. 11 players on the field. And for the Monarchs as well. Do not get drawn into anything off of the ball. And let your football do the talking. Set up for a fantastic 25+ remaining here.
Looking through for Duke, the newly inserted sub. Marquez blocked out.
It's a nice little battle that we have on this right-hand side between Marquez and Soto. Two players very similar with the way that they operate. Comfortable on the ball, quick, talented, and a lot of quality.
On the turn, Griffin Dillon. Ever since the goal, they've been still in control, Real Monarchs. Griffin Dillon dancing through. Dillon floats it. Header, saved by Lizarralde. Strong push off to get out to that one. He's had to get busier as of late, Lizarralde. Dillon. Momentum on their side, Kaliskan. Good step to win it by Gabriel Arias. Cleanly won as well. Perez up toward Benson. Good hold-up play by Benson. Sacre for Soto. Soto centering and cleared by Kobe Henry. Calmly done. Finding a teammate, and they could build out again. Chase Duke sent on the run. Lizarralde has it.
Fantastic recognition from Zuluaga. Understand that Mosqueda gets caught out of position. Stays like for like with Chase Duke. It's overhit. Little moments like that as a center back are so important to not allow a clean passing lane.
Contact. Play on. Gabriel Arias. Oh, he tried to send Benson on the run. He was coming and asking for it at his feet. Flipped up over the top to the end line. Real Monarchs menacing again. Lizarralde with it once more. Up there, top of your screen, you see the one flag-waving El Farolito supporter behind a banner that says Ultras. It's singular today. He's the Ultra, making the trip up to Utah with the group. They'll be receiving a lot of support back home if they pull this one off. Just over 20 minutes remaining. Marquez cuts it back on Soto. Sharpie. Very hesitant, Wes Sharpie. Now clipped down. So it works out for him in the end, but he was bailed out. It was a poor decision initially from Sharpie.
Just needs to be quicker on the ball, Sharpie. 1-2 touches. Get out of your feet, continue with the ball circulation. But does quite well to take the contact, and now you let Galiscan stand over it. Again, the desired location is right between that 6-yard box and penalty mark.
From the free kick, rising to head it away once again, Benson. Don't lose sight of all the defensive work that Denbor Benson does. Sharpie. Flag stays down. In behind, it's the goal scorer Riquelme, centering now. Hops up over Owen Anderson's left foot.
Great work from Riquelme. He's provided a spark since coming off of the bench. Playing as almost a number 10 underneath Chase Duke and Carter. Just too heavy on the ball, slaughtered across for Anderson to get his feet underneath him.
This is where you start wondering about the experience factor. A much older team, El Farolito. They were in a very similar position last year. 1-1 late in regulation, got it to extra time, and then Oakland scored early in extra time to take it 2-1. So they've been in this spot just last year, round 3 of this tournament. Offside, Benson off the punt. Kipre Sacre about to give way here. He'll be replaced by Jorge Murillo.
Substitution for El Farolito. Leaving the match, number 19, Kipre Sacre. Entering the match, number 16, Murillo Jorge.
Farolito last year were down 1-0 on the road against Portland Timbers 2. Scored 2 second-half goals to pick up the win. Then against Central Valley Fuego, they were down 1-0, scored 2 goals to pick up the win. It was Denbor Benson in the 88th minute, and then they were 1-1 late. Lost to Oakland in extra time last year, so all 3 of their games were 1-1 at some point late in the second half last year. 2 of them they came out on top. On goals by Denbor Benson. dangerous. Pressure closing in here for El Farolito. Soto. Henry takes him down. Should be a call. Oh, wow, it goes against Soto for a dive and a yellow. I don't know about that one. It seemed like Henry came through and made contact. Rightfully upset, it seems. We'll take another look.
But just why? If you're Kobe Henry, the way that you go into this challenge. I tend to agree with you, Joe. Very hard. Understand how that's not a foul on Kobe Henry. But as that ball gets played down into the corner, your top priority is just to move your feet. And as Santiago Lopez goes into book as well.
It's maybe a worthy yellow card. Look, you're never going to change the call, but maybe you influence the next one from the referee, and your argument maybe ends up opening the eyes of the referee. Hey, maybe you missed one there, because from what we've seen and replay that we saw, it looks like he did.
Yellow card to the coaching staff of El Farolito.
You can understand where Farolito's coming from in that moment. Just again feeling like, hey, can we catch a break right now? It's a situation where mentally they're on the road, they're amateur side against a pro team. Already have enough stacked against them, don't need a call like that going against them as well. Not only because of the yellow card against Soto, but think of what the alternative should have been. That should have been an El Farolito free kick at a very good spot to get the ball in to one of their big targets. Clearly we have at least one opinionated fan that's near one of our microphones. Given away by Real Monarchs. Soto looking through. Doesn't connect with anybody. I see it's a moment like that that gets a player annoyed with the referee. He just waved it off, said no foul. Well, if there was no foul, player went down. You just gave a dive yellow card on one end. Well, if there was no foul there, that should have been a dive yellow card on the other end. You see how it doesn't match. There's Riquelme.
Just looking for consistency. That's all you can ask for. If you're a player, a coach, especially in a situation just like this.
Sharpie. A hit from distance here. Curler, far post. Doesn't curl enough for Griffin Dillon.
Monarch substitution in the 77th minute, leaving the match, number 33, Tommy Silva. Entering the match,
Ruben Masales will enter for Tommy Silva.
Messias.
Are we destined for extra time here tonight? It's been 1-1 ever since Riquelme tied things in the 58th minute, 20 minutes ago now. Favorable deflection here for El Farolito as Soto nearly got there. Still just one shot on target for El Farolito. It was the goal back in the 18th minute. They led for 40 minutes. They've been tied for 20 since then. Corner coming for El Farolito. Soto in swinger. Now Monarchs looking to get it clear. Only as far as Arias chips it in. Flag stays down. Goal kick.
Really clever from Arias. Everyone thinks this ball is going to be pumped in to a dangerous area. Simply just lifts it onto an oncoming run. Brave from the Monarchs here. 11 plus remaining, electing to play out of the back and invite the pressure from El Farolito. To be fair, they do quite well. If you do break that initial line, now you have a lot of space to get Duke Carter a little bit more on the ball. Riquelme as well. Been a fantastic addition for Mark Lowry's side.
The MLS Next Pro side has come from behind, tied it up at 1. Can they fend off the reigning NPSL champions? Fan favorites of last year, El Farolito, looking to be that once again. They've won at least one game each of the last 2 Open Cups. They won 2 last year. Real Monarchs in their first ever Open Cup. Second team of Real Salt Lake, who have previously been in this tournament. Runners up back in 2013, Real Salt Lake. They were exempt from having their first team in this tournament this year because they were in CONCACAF Champions Cup. So instead, Real Monarchs get the berth. Space for Riquelme.
Good
Plays
run.
it in behind. Chase Duke to the end line. Duke centering. And cleared. El Farolito. Again, they were upset that no offside flag came, but again, they failed to step on time. Something if you're Real Monarchs, you maybe take notice of it. You scored a goal like that, and you almost had another. This back line is not in sync for El Farolito. Maybe it's heavy legs, not being in mid-season form. Arias chipping toward Benson, flicked away by Henry. Soto, shout for handball. Didn't look like it. Griffin Dillon.
The movement from Duke has been causing some issues for El Farolito, like you mentioned, Joe. Unable to step or drop in unison. So while Mark Lowry, I want to operate from right here to give Duke the space to run in behind. Draw them out, and that's when you can exploit that space that's left by the 2 center backs.
Letting it fly from distance, it's blocked. Marquez. Soto steps, wins it. Should turn it upfield. Nowhere really to go. Soto, though, works his way down the sideline and gets fouled.
Yellow card caution, Monarchs, number 67, Wes Sharpie.
The yellow card was given to Wes Sharpie. for that foul. Free kick for Real Monarchs.
Really good opportunity here for the Monarchs to loft this thing into the mixer and cause a little bit of chaos.
Benson, massive header away. Tell you what, if you're a pro team who's watching this game, who's looking to maybe give Denver Benson a contract like he earned last year after this side beat Central Valley Fuego and then they turn around and sign him. He's got a goal at one end. He's had a ton of defensive headers at the other end. It's something that was part of his plan. He just didn't want to leave home for personal reasons. Contracts that were offered to him on the East Coast or up in the Pacific Northwest. Also staying home in California in the relative area. Waiting, holding out hope for an offer that comes like that. Wanted to showcase himself again in Open Cup. He's done so.
As a number 9, yes, your job is to score goals and find the back of the net, which he's done that. But how do you affect the game elsewhere?
Kobe Henry is going to pick up a yellow card here for delaying the restart.
And those two have gone at it all evening here. Kobe Henry, Denver Benson. Denver's done a lot of the dirty side of the game. Like he said, first to attack any ball whipped into a dangerous area. Closing down continuous pressure on this back line for the Monarchs.
Leaving the match, number 30, Owen Anderson.
Luca Moisat takes Owen Anderson's spot.
Entering the match, number 34, Luca Moisa.
Weaving run from the center back. Zuluaga doesn't amount to anything in the end. Has to get back into position. Soto. Benson. Beaten to it by Henry. There's a substitute, Moisa. Should be an El Farolito throw, not sure why. Massalas just let it go, unless he thought he couldn't get there. Three minutes to go, plus stoppage. Are we headed for extra time? Last game they played in Open Cup, El Farolito went to extra time. It was their third round loss against the Oakland Roots last year. Moisa. Kaliskan. Out for the goal kick. Elsewhere, Monterey Bay dominating up 3-0 on International San Francisco. Ballard and Spokane are 0-0 at halftime. LAFC 2 are up 3-0 on Arizona FC. Had 3 cup sets earlier in the evening. Virginia Dream taking down the Richmond Kickers. Des Moines Menace taking down Sporting Kansas City 2. And the Little Rock Rangers beating Birmingham. Just 1 cup set yesterday. Now 7 more matches coming tomorrow and a bonus one on Friday. That was rescheduled between Union Omaha and Flatirons. Sharpie Final 90 seconds of the 90 minutes. Plus whatever we have in store for stoppage time. Griffin Dillon drops it back. There's space here to be had for Kaliskan. Thought he was going to step up and hit it. We've seen him do that. Marquez, 90th minute. End line, Marquez. Goal kick.
Very similar to what we've seen in the first half for the Monarchs. Stalling out in around the 18-yard box. They found the most success when they played a little bit quicker, when they're more transitional. First pass forward, once they receive the ball, recover the ball. That's when you can allow Carter and Duke to make those runs that have caused some issues. But when you're methodical and play at a very slow tempo, that plays to the hands of El Farolito. Gives them to get all 11 players behind the ball, sit into their mid to low block, and make life very frustrating.
There will be 4 additional minutes here at the end of regulation. Beyond that, traditional 2 15-minute extra time periods followed by penalties if need be. Brian Gomez preparing to enter for El Farolito. Played ahead for Arias. Has options. Arias looking for Soto. Snatched by Kirkfleet. Haven't called his name until this point on this second half so far.
Just tells you about what the second half has been all about. A lot of the Monarchs on the ball on the front foot. And a lot of defending for Farolito.
Kaliskan. Marquez. They still haven't really forced the issue, Real Monarchs, in the late stages. They've continued their methodical play. One back by El Farolito. Benson starting his run. Some room in the middle for Arias. Turning, taken down. Almost kept it, then taken out again. Goes against El Farolito. And a yellow for Gabriel Arias.
Once he eludes that first player, this ball needs to be played out to Soto that has acres of space on this near side. Right here. Get out of your feet. Played into number 7 in yellow. As you take that extra touch, now you get yourself into the book and take out Kaliskan.
Substitution for El Farolito. Leaving the match, number 8, Yemeni Arias.
It was Arias who came off.
Number 20, Brian Gomez.
Brian Gomez takes his spot. Pressure from El Farolito. Monarchs break it through Sharpie. Riquelme offside. Gomez. Arias. Floated in near Benson. Falls. Volley just wide. Nearly won at the death by El Farolito. It was the substitute Brian Gomez at the moment.
Fantastic hold of play from Denver Benson. Occupies both center backs, so that leaves the space for Gomez. Dream opportunity for the sub to let the ball come down, simply swing through it and let momentum do its thing. Hits the outside of his boot and goes wide.
The other way for Marquez. 4 minutes come and gone. Well, beyond the 4 minutes now. Riquelme. As they continue to go back, the whistle might blow. There it is. 90 minutes, not enough. We need 30 more in this first round matchup between Real Monarchs and El Farolito. Stick with us. Extra time on the way here in the 110th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup.
With the score, El Farolito 1 and Real Monarchs 1.
Extra time on the way here in Utah. Real Monarchs 1, El Farolito 1. So the visitors from NPSL find themselves in a similar position to where they were in the third round last year on the road against the Oakland Roots, where it finished 1-1, and they went on to lose 2-1 in extra time. Take a look at how we got here.
Fantastic ball over the top. Higuera does quite well to win his individual battle, and then it's that man, Denver Benson, was always going to be the guy who's going to find the back of the net for this El Farolito side. But the second half was better for the Monarchs. They got on the ball a little bit more. It was really physical play between the two teams. And yes, you want to go out and get this game tied, but you cannot leave yourself vulnerable going back the other way because transitional moments, and this is where they find their breakthrough. Left side of your screen, board hat, right inside of that D, keeps Riquelme on side, and it's a quality finish. Simply opens up his hips and beats Lizarralde to that near post. And you thought Real Monarchs was going to continue with that momentum and get that secondary goal. But El Farolito stood strong. Their goalkeeper, Lizarralde, was fantastic at commanding his 6-yard box. And it was much like we saw in the first half, Joe. A lot of the ball for the Monarchs, unable to find that final bit of quality and to find the breakthrough. And El Farolito just wanted this. They were going to sit back and try to make it a little bit more transitional moments. Fantastic ball across. Good save in the end from this back line of Real Monarchs. And you thought Gomez was going to have a fair to landing. Falls perfectly, just pulls it wide.
Look at the overtime rule standard. And to 2 15-minute periods played in full. No golden goal here. And if tied after 120, we go to a shootout to decide who goes through the round 2. El Farolito left to right in the yellow. Real Monarchs right to left in the red and blue. There were 4 subs made by El Farolito and 4 subs made by Real Monarchs. They each get a bonus window and bonus sub here in extra time, and we're underway with MLS veteran Ricky Lopez-Espin. I'm Joe Malfa. First round extra time action here in the 110th edition of the Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup. Liam O'Gara came on right before extra time for Real Monarchs. Only change. Replaced Wes Sharpie. There is O'Gara. Marquez. Gomez. To be fair, neither side really got caught out much defensively in the 90 minutes. It was that one counter in the first half, executed perfectly by El Farolito. And then in the second half, to be fair, if defensively there was one more step taken up by Zuluaga, it might have been offside. As it stands, good call, certainly onside, and a good goal. But one step up by Zuluaga, we're talking about a different story, and it might have been 1-0 El Farolito.
Well, to be fair, both of these teams have been stout defensively. No real mental lapses, no silly mistakes. It's been a quality game of football. And you're just asking for someone to produce a little bit of individual brilliance in that final third. Because you know through these 2 extra time periods, there's going to be chances. How can you be clinical in those critical moments? When it comes to cup competition, it's all about moments and taking your chances.
This has been a constant the whole time. Hefty possession advantage for Real Monarchs, continued here in extra time.
But they have found the most success once their target man, Carter or Duke, drop in, and then it's a secondary run off of the shoulder. Because Mosquera, Zuluaga are really aggressive at stepping out of their line. And when they do, they leave space vacated. You just need someone to occupy it if you are the Monarchs.
Farolito, while they'll focus defensively, they're not going to shy away from still finding their own attack the other way. This is not a team that's going to sit back and just hope for penalties. If they can win it, they're going to go on and try to win it. Aggressive in that way.
They're very measured, the risks that they take. This Farolito side that comes with the experience.
O'Gara. Henry. Through for Kaliskan. Masales. Nice touch. Inside! Oh, just wide from Marquez. Brilliantly brought out of the air, went outside of the boot, and just put it wide.
Fantastic bit of play for the Monarchs. Masales puts in a dangerous ball towards that back post. And it's a responsibility of Marquez to crash. He does everything right. Outside of his boot, trying to get that whipping feature on the ball. Doesn't come back across. Golden opportunity missed for the Monarchs.
Gomez wins it on the press. Tripped up Gomez. Free kick here for El Farolito. Yellow card issued to Liam O'Gara. A little bit on the outskirts of shooting range, but they might be ambitious enough here.
Clever from Gomez. Notice how the last second he slashes across O'Gara. Really interesting distance. You have to think this ball is going to be lofted to the back post for one of the big center backs, El Farolito. And then now if you are the Monarchs, it's not the initial action, it's a secondary ball that can cause some issues. So you have to stay mentally tuned in.
I agree that's what they should do. Now, knowing this team for the last couple of years, I think they're going to have a hit. There's an ambitious, confident team. They're going to have a hit at goal here. Soto standing over it. Let's see. It's a confident bunch, Ricky. Only two in the wall. Kirkfleet eyeing it up. In goal. Soto leaves it. It is a drive at goal and save. Rebound, the header over the bar.
Should play the lotto. Fantastic hit here from Gomez. The ball has a lot of movement on it. Kirkfleet, big time save, but you never want to parry it back into traffic. Fortunate, the ball skips off the turf. El Farolito unable to get a clear angle, and it's headed underneath. But a big mistake from the goalkeeper.
It was Jonathan Mosquera, the center back, who had that secondary effort on the header. Blasted by Gabriel Arias on the shot. This team wasn't serving that, Ricky. Come on. They are playing with house money again in extra time against the pro side in Open Cup.
Well, you have to think with how dominant they've been in the air.
Fair enough.
Mosquera, Zuluaga.
Kaliskan into some space here.
He's been good. Kaliskan has been impressive for the Monarchs. Wears armband for a reason.
Moisat almost slipped it through for Duke. Free kick coming out for El Farolito. Flicked on for Benson. 10 minutes into extra time, not much has changed. It's still Monarchs controlling the play. It's still Farolito picking their moments in transition the other way. It's still both sides holding strong and not conceding anything. It's almost felt destined for penalties. See if that's where we head when all's said and done, or if there's a winner in extra time. Marquez, early ball in. Settled by Masales, centered, loose in front for Duke, goes back for Moisa and cleared amid all the traffic pinballing around.
Great work from Masales to keep it alive and put the ball in a dangerous area, and I love the movement from Duke. He's been really mobile since coming onto this game. Just overruns it a tad bit. Those two linking up have been a positive impact for Mark Lowry's side.
Gets in behind for Arias. Benson making his run. Took a deflection off of Kobe Henry and out for a corner. Any moment like this now can be the moment.
Surely they're serving this, right?
Well, the wind is blowing in that direction. You see the corner flag. Could be an attempt at an Olympico. Certainly have all the targets in the area. The height of Zuluaga, of Benson, is fed that way, and before any of it, a foul called. Sometimes you could tell in moments like that, the ref is almost looking for it. He came in, he had a chat. That ball barely left the foot of the corner taker, and the whistle was already blown.
Just need to be a little bit smarter, more clever. Farolito, every set piece, because you're not having a lot of the ball, you have to take it into account and make it count.
The longer this goes, the more the pressure builds on Real Monarchs. Flag still waving in the distance for El Farolito in support. Benson chasing Kobe Henry. Benson settles it. Denbor Benson breaking through, taken down. Is it a penalty or a free kick? Just a free kick. That's a good call, it looks like. What color's the card? Is it a last man situation? Referees are conferring in the earpiece. And it looks like a yellow for Kobe Henry. And Kobe Henry was already on a yellow, pardon me, so he's sent off regardless. So now Real Monarchs go down a man. It's a free kick just outside the area.
A handful of Denbor Benson, it's pure will. Reads the flight of the ball. Good call. Right outside the 18-yard box, and like you said, Joe, already on a yellow card. Kobe Henry needs to be smarter. No need to lunge in like that, and if you do, it has to be with your right foot so you can come around at a better angle. Second yellow, early shower. Monarchs down to 10 men, and what an opportunity this is for El Farolito from 19 yards out.
I don't even think it's 19. I think it's 18 yards and like 4 inches. Certainly outside the box, but not by much. Kobe Henry, the only fortunate bit for him is that fact that it was just outside. This is almost to the detriment of El Farolito. It's really tough to get it up and over the wall from this close in. Got to find a way around it if you can.
They have three options. You go underneath it.
Probably have somebody laying down, though, no, from here at the wall.
Hard to the goalkeeper's side, or something off the training ground.
Well, they've got enough yellow jerseys surround the ball right now for it to be something off the training ground. Can they compound the Real Monarchs' mistake? 15 minutes have come and gone here in the opening period of extra time. The second period will be played with El Farolito up a man. Unless somebody loses their cool, and they have a few of their own yellow cards out there right now in Mosquera and Martinez and Gabriel Arias. So three standing over it. Brian Gomez with those yellow cleats. Number 7, Soto. And behind it all, Gabriel Arias, who hit that stinger before from distance on the free kick. What do they have cooked up? You also have the El Farolito wall to just screen the goalkeeper, Kirk Fleet. Which of the three? It's Arias deflected by the wall. So still up a man, but they don't get anything off the free kick. Now whipped in. Moisa. That changes things going into the second extra time now. There was no official stoppage time given here for the first extra time whistle coming any moment. Well, Monarchs looking to get another sub in if they can. Loic Agelala comes on. On for Moisa, who subbed in late in the second half. That's just simply to get an extra center back out there, and Moisa, the unlucky player who had to be sacrificed. They had 2 minutes of stoppage time, but even those have come and gone now, so any guesses when the whistle blows? You wonder if that'll shift the play in the second extra time. But at the same token, if you're El Farolito, what's gotten you here is sitting back, withstanding the blows, and getting out in transition. So you wonder if that's still the approach, even though they're up a man now. Decisions to make for Santiago Lopez.
I think if you're Santiago Lopez, you go after this game. Like you said earlier, you're playing with house money. Now you have the ability to be up a man. Monarchs are not going to really afford anything in the attacking third. Going to want to park the bus. Legs are heavy. You expect El Farolito now to kind of flip the script. You want them on the ball. And how good defensively can the Monarchs be to see this game out?
And there's the whistle to end the first extra time. So all those conversations will happen now in their respective huddles as Real Monarchs go into the second extra time down a man. Kobe Henry sent off 1-1 here in Utah. Second extra time on the way. Teams have taken the field to begin the second extra time. All 11 players for El Farolito and just 10 for Real Monarchs after that Kobe Henry red card. With Ricky Lopez-Espin, I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us still here in the late hours of this Wednesday evening of Open Cup. We've certainly reached that Open Cup After Dark threshold for our East Coast viewers. It's about to be tomorrow. Whistle blew, but they were still waiting for Zuluaga to get into position, and now they go. So we'll see what the directive is from Santiago Lopez. Up a man, will they be more aggressive now in this second extra time for El Farolito? It would be a massive stray from what they'd been doing for the first 105 minutes. Antonio Riquelme has been really solid since coming on, even aside from the goal he scored to tie it. In moments like this where he's been good on the ball, physical, not afraid to mix things up a bit. There's Chase Duke. Down a man, can they go up a goal? Chase Duke centers it, saved by Lisa Alde. This is a really good effort from Duke. You just hit that as hard as you can across the goal mouth. Whether it's off a defender or a misplay by the goalkeeper, something good happens and they get a corner out of it.
And you have to love this if you are Mark Lowry. The two players that you brought on have resulted in a positive impact. That's a strike. Full power from Duke. It's been a handful to deal with, and that is a really good save from Lizarralde and even better positioning from Mosquera.
From the corner. Just going back and forth here, almost a bit of a bout of soccer tennis between these two sides. Good step by Kaliskan. Kaliskan give and go. Cut out by Murillo. Arias. Soto. He's brought down. No call. Now a late whistle. Seemed after a conference in the earpiece with the assistant referee and the fourth official that the call gets made. Is there going to be a card attached to this as well? Referee coming over to speak with the fourth official. The claim from El Farolito is that he was completely smacked in the head by Ajalala. And they're reaching in the pocket. It's going to be a yellow, I believe, for Ajalala as he's beckoned over. Just a yellow.
I think it's a right call. Watch the right arm of Ajalala. Comes across right there and catches Soto.
That's the second time tonight where there's been an instance where if VAR were applicable here, might have been sent off. That's striking an opponent to the head. I don't know how else you look at that other than a send-off. If you're the referee and you didn't see it, you had to go over to the fourth official. Getting it second hand, maybe you err on the side of caution and give a yellow for a team that's already down a man, but I don't know how that's anything but a right in a situation like that. Very fortunate to only be down one man right now. And remember, the call wasn't even made initially. That's why El Farolito was so up in arms about it in the first place. That was a play on from our center referee.
And I think that's why he gives out a yellow. I think it gets him in trouble. If he doesn't call it, has a conversation with his fourth and comes back and pulls out red.
Correction, yellow card to
Always run the risk when your arm is extended away from your body, especially towards the face area. Has all the makings for a red card. Najalala extremely lucky.
You think a lot about the psychology of teams heading into a shootout, if we get there, that is. Well, Monarchs have seen things slowly slipping here in extra time with a red card, nearly another. Farolito have the confidence and they're brimming with it. So from the psychological perspective, and also being the underdogs putting pressure on Real Monarchs, psychologically you'd have to favor Farolito in a possible shootout. See if we get there. 10 more minutes to go. Soto won't get there.
How good has he been? Soto. So comfortable on the ball. We've seen the bite that he has. Never shies away from a 50-50 challenge.
Thrown into Duke. Chase Duke, edge of the area. Kaliskan, it's blocked. Mosqueda got in the way of it. Look, it hit him right around the armpit, so it was close to a handball. Gomez. Nice move from Gomez into space. Oh, did he play that too early? He had so much more space to run into. Arias. Ahead for Soto, taken down. And a penalty given. Is it another send-off as well? Ajalala was already on a yellow. They've started to crack down on that this year from the top down. And the rules not to have that double jeopardy sort of thing, not to give the yellow for a moment like that, just a penalty. But either way, it's a penalty for Farolito, and they're already up a man.
Center of your screen, Soto continues his run. Watch the recognition, the change of pace right here. Great touch. Najalala, rash in the way that he goes into this challenge. None of the ball, all of Soto. Just no need. The initial challenge, one like you mentioned, Joe, extension of the arm. This one, young man is very lucky to stay on this field, but what an opportunity that is for El Farolito. 112th minute, 12 yards out.
Denver Benson is who you'd expect to take this. He's over here getting a cramp worked out on the bottom of your screen by the coaching staff. He's trying to hobble back in to get the ball from Soto, it looks like, or will he let Soto take it? Looks like he's gonna let Soto have it. Hilbert Soto has maybe been the best player tonight. No, now Benson's coming in for a conversation. It's more of a pep talk, it looks like. Thought he was going to come in and take it back. He comes in and he gets Kaliskan out of the mix. Kaliskan picks up a yellow. Drama in Utah. First extra time saw a send-off for Real Monarchs. Now a penalty in the second extra time for El Farolito. Again, a new initiative this year in the rules to not even give a yellow in double jeopardy, part of the IFAB update in 2025. That's why if you're wondering why no second yellow and send-off. 114th minute. Soto eyes it up. Max Kirkfleet clapping in goal. Could this be the moment for El Farolito to punch a ticket through to the second round? Soto, well taken! Upper corner, El Farolito in the lead!
Best player on the field for El Farolito, this Soto. Center of your screen, the recognition as the right back peels out. He knows there's space and he's fleet of foot. knows he has Ajalala out. No need to go into that challenge. Clear foul, clear pen. And what else is clear? The top corner and the quality of Soto. Bends it away. Side netting, no chance for the goalkeeper. And El Farolito have their lead.
That is just a cold, cold penalty. The 29-year-old from Colombia has been a star tonight. He previously played professionally in Colombia.
Yellow card caution to the Monarchs, number 92.
157 appearances, 16 goals, 15 assists in a past life playing professionally, both in Colombia and in Central America. Farolito known for that. Players who have now settled in the Bay Area, they get them to come in, play for their club, who still want to keep playing but have moved on in life and get a quote-unquote 9-to-5 job and work to provide for their families, but they still give them this opportunity here with this team in tournaments like this. NPSL reigning champions. Soto fits that list. Play on here. They have numbers out toward Benson. Doesn't get there, but it was Ajalala who committed the foul for advantage to be played. The referee seemed like he was going to reach for the pocket. See if the referee comes back and sends Ajalala off. Remember, he committed the foul that led to the penalty, and he's already on a yellow. So now he's on an even shorter leash if he's not sent off. Soto offside. Moment of truth now. Are they going to send off Ajalala?
He has to be gone.
Doesn't look like it. They catch another break here, Real Monarchs. Dembor Benson is going to come off here.
Substitution.
He was cramping. He was at the end of his evening.
Soto and number 9, Dembor Benson.
Omar Quiroga replaces Dembor Benson.
2, Omar Quiroga. And number 26,
Dauda Sidibe comes on as well. Ajalala will take this kick. He's very fortunate to still be on the field. It's one thing with the double jeopardy rule to not have picked up a second yellow when he committed the penalty, but that time, when the advantage was played by the referee,
It's a clear foul.
and it's one of those where you can't think this way, but if you're Farolito, if you stop that attack and immediately the play stops, he's probably getting sent off, but because it took so long, the referee just almost forgets about it, and he's supposed to go back, but
Yeah, 100%. Those referees should 100% go back and card Ajalala. You can still play advantage and still card a defender.
well, that's not the important thing right now for El Farolito. They have 2.5 minutes to navigate to see this through. They're up a goal, they're up a man. And they have the momentum now. Can they find another? Sidibe slips it through toward Arias. And cleared away by Kirkfleet. Ajalala was again putting himself in jeopardy. It has been a nightmare appearance in this one for the center back, who, mind you, is only in the match because of the Kobe Henry red card. Given away at the back by Kirkfleet, and he makes the save and cleans up his mess. Oh, goodness, Farolito could have put it away right there. That is one that Brian Gomez would want back.
What a bad mistake this could have been for Kirkfleet. Trying to play out of the back. Gomez just a bit too casual. Takes a little bit too long to open up his hips and get this ball on his preferred right foot. That plays into the hands of Kirkfleet. Big time save.
Keeping it in the corner, trying to kill time. And they can do it again. Roll for Farolito. 120th minute. Though with the substitutions, with the penalty, we're told there will be 5 minutes of stoppage time here at the tail end. Wait for the fourth official to confirm that, but that's the word we're hearing at the moment. Real Monarchs trying to get it back. It's blocked by Mosquera and cleared. Carried by Kaliskan. And they find the late equalizer, Real Monarchs.
The fourth official has indicated that a minimum of 5 minutes.
5 minutes confirmed. The header just wide. The yellow card was shown to, I believe, Griffin Dillon. Unsure why.
Great bit of play here for the Monarchs. Ogar, right side of your screen. Notice how he gets goal side of Martinez. It does all the hard work. Now he just needs to get it on target. And you're putting Lizarralde under a lot of pressure.
Yellow card caution. Farolito, number 81.
Tell you what, Ricky, in hindsight, remember when Soto got slapped in the head by Ajalala and he wasn't sent off? It might have been better for Real Monarchs had he been the way things have gone. He commits the penalty and they've been attacking him ever since. And now Griffin Dillon just got a yellow on the other side, commits this foul, but it's actually gonna go against him. Now Farolito can't believe it. He got chopped down from behind by Griffin Dillon and it goes Monarchs' way.
And they were asking for consistency. Soto got a yellow for that.
We're long past consistency, Ricky. We're long past consistency.
Soto got a yellow for diving. If that's a foul on Martinez, it's a dive.
You're making perfect sense. Try to lay off the refs. It's a job I've done in the past. I know it's not an easy one, but some nights have to just call it as you see it. Tonight, one of those nights.
2026, Joe Malfa, center referee.
Well, then I wouldn't be here with you.
Yeah, don't do that.
So the assistant referee popped his flag and waved it as if to call a free kick for Real Monarchs. Center referee called a throw-in for El Farolito. They end up going with the assistant referee's call. It is a free kick for Real Monarchs. Whipped in from the free kick. Goalkeeper up now as well, Kirkfleet. 2 minutes remaining of stoppage time. Driven through, flicked on, and misplayed by O'Gara. 90 seconds remaining of stoppage time.
What an opportunity this is for O'Gara just to lay it off. As a player in a better body position and a better attacking position than himself. Just lose touch in the end.
Sent long by Kirkfleet. Into the final minute. El Farolito last year won on the road against Portland Timbers 2 of MLS Next Pro by the same scoreline, but in 90 minutes. They lost by the same scoreline in extra time to the Oakland Roots in round 3. Can they hold on? Flared in, gathered by Lizarralde. They made the 3rd round last year, a pair of cup sets and almost the 3rd against Oakland. Now they wait for the draw to see who their round 2 opponent is. Off to the races here for Sidibe. Support on the opposite side of the field. Sidibe goes for a goal, saved, rebound, put in! El Farolito on to round 2!
See what it means to the amateur side. Transitional moment. No pressure from Ajalala.
Eric Arias taps it in. They're beyond the 5 minutes of stoppage time. Here in the second extra time. Up a man, now up 2 goals. It's clear. El Farolito will be going through to the second round. Just a matter of when the final whistle makes it official. There's the final whistle for the 2nd year in a row. El Farolito asserting themselves as the darlings of US Open Cup. A cup set here in round 1 on the road against Real Monarchs.
Dealt with adversity, took their chances in the final third, and stout defensively for El Farolito. If you are Santiago Lopez, you have to be extremely pleased with the foot put forth from your side. Deservingly so, book their ticket in the second round.
A very eventful extra time after a 90 minutes that saw it tied at 1. Take you back to the highlights here. This game really got going, more so in extra time. We'll walk you all the way back to the beginning here in the first half when it was made 1-0 by Denver Benson.
Really good work from Migueta, even better run from Denver Benson to that far post. This is a celebration we're going to come to expect for this El Farolito side. Going back the other way. Soto, the thick of everything for the visiting side. Just a handful to deal with. And in the end, Real Monarchs deal with it extremely well, but they get one back. Playing in between the lines. Recalme, left side of your screen, Borja keeps him on, and it's a really clever finish from the sub. Best time that we've seen Real Monarchs break through. Then the quality comes out from within. Soto, Jalalala gets caught all wrong-footed on a yellow. The way that he comes in, gets none of the ball, all of the player. And Soto says, thank you very much. Kick this out right where the Spiders sleep, out to the corner to celebrate. And they get their second goal and a little bit of breathing room, and this seals the deal. Sidibe, pressure, no pressure on the ball from Ajalala. He actually backs away from it. Save from Kirkfleet, right into Arias. That's 3 goals. That's a win. And El Farolito into the second round.
They got to the 3rd round last year. They're at least in the 2nd round this year. That'll do it for us from Utah. I would suggest flipping over to Ballard and Spokane. Maybe another cup set brewing. They're 0-0 in the 84th minute. But for my broadcast partner, Ricky Lopez-Espin, and the rest of the crew that makes this possible, I'm Joe Malva saying so long for now. El Farolito do it again on the road. A cup set here in the 110th edition of the Lamar Hunt US Open Cup. Again, flip over to Ballard and Spokane and enjoy the rest of Open Cup play, everybody. Good night.